Hello, hello.
Well, good morning, everybody, and good morning, Coach Laura. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're in. I'm
That's
great.
it.
How are you doing?
I was smart enough to know to not try that phrase. I'd never get it right, but doing great. It's almost like a couple weeks ago we were doing a Facebook Live together. Life
I
is great.
know, just yesterday, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But happy Wednesday to all the veterans, and thank you for your spending some time with us today. We're going to get started in a couple minutes here, but before we get started, our today's topic is uh, uh, types of discharges and their benefits. But feel free to kind of give a little shout out what branch of service you were in, where you're calling from, or viewing in from, and if you got any questions as we're going through this, we'll definitely try to get those answers to your questions. But in case we run out of time, someone will be around to get those answers to your questions. But yeah, thanks everyone for being here.
Yeah, definitely in the comments. Share where you're tuning in from, what branch of the military you served, and then when it comes to question time later on down, share your questions there, and we'll be happy to get to as many as possible.
Absolutely. So, Coach
Well,
Laura, why don't you start us off? What brings you to VA Claims Insider as a coach? Tell us a little bit about
uh,
you.
a little bit about me. I served for 16 years in the Air Force. I was a medic. And yeah, it just was a great opportunity once I got out of the military and separated to join the VA Claims Insider family and really take my background and apply it in a new and different way, continuing to work with veterans and connect with veterans. That's the biggest thing. And it's been such a great pleasure to hear the life changing stories and witness the life changes that have occurred because of the education that we provide.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's awesome. And I did not throw a jab in there for the Air Force, but there might be one coming later on down the road.
I'm
Uh,
sure there will be. Go ahead and let us know, share your story, Coach Ash.
oh, I definitely will then. But yeah, Coach Ash, I'm a Desert Storm, Desert Shield vet, and you know how you can tell the age of a tree by the rings. You could tell how long I've been doing this at as a coach based on the length of my beard. So, in case anyone was curious, but I did actually start off as a client, and I say that as a former client. I had paid my bill off 3 weeks ago. I got to 100% permanent in total with the education, resources, and the education from my coach. Um, and it's been life changing ever since. And this was kind of my way of paying it back a little bit, being able to connect with veterans, like you mentioned. Um, couldn't ask for anything better. So it's one of the best jobs I ever had outside of being in the Navy.
Well, we have to take a quick second to celebrate you and your recent new rating. So, congratulations. I tip my hat to you. I know it probably was a long road and, definitely well worth getting there, and you deserve it.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're getting a lot of people. Oh, Michael from Jacksonville, Florida. I was stationed in Mayport, so love Jacksonville. So I go back at least once a year. Every May, I try to go back there. So um, usually when it's not so hot and humid. And we got Florida coming in. OM from Miami.
Yeah, we have also Wayne Kern from New Jersey.
Oh, look at Arthur out there, U.S. Navy, 93.8%. He knows VA math with 8 claims that are not yet rated or not rated yet. So if those claims are in submission, I wish you the best. And yeah, you're right there on the cusp of it. Just got to get to 95.
Excellent. All right. We also have Ernest Walker tuning in from Yosemite area in California.
Yosemite.
Welcome, welcome.
Looks like Mike was CB and Army. Wow. CBs are, y'all are something else. That's for sure. Believe you have to, you know a CB, don't you?
I
So she,
love you. Well, let's get on to discussing how our program works. We heavily rely on the approach of SEM, strategy, education, and medical evidence. Our coaches like to review documentation in order to put the pieces of the puzzle together and develop a good game plan to move forward with. And a big key piece and why most of you are here is the educational factor for our services. Learning is a weapon, it's a tool. It's definitely something that, expanding your toolbox is important. So we are definitely looking forward to providing some more of that education. And then the medical evidence piece, we do partner up with a company separate from our company called Telemedica, and they are there to provide Nexus services for veterans, and we definitely like working with them. So let's get on to our topic, different types of military discharges. So we have quite a few of them to go through, and let's get started with the first one. Honorable discharge. Honorable discharge is the most desirable discharge for veterans. It focuses on, how honorable discharges are the most conducive and working with the veteran claims process and how to, take advantage of that. Coach Ash, you want to move on to what a medical discharge is?
yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to the medical discharge, um, you might think that could prevent you from receiving an honorable discharge. You could also believe that you won't be entitled to any VA benefits. Those are myths and rumors that you may have heard when it comes to being military medically discharged. You've earned those veteran benefits, and especially if you've suffered any injuries, medical injuries, or an illness while you're on active duty, no matter how long you served, you definitely deserve the benefits legally, morally, and ethically that you deserve for sure. So,
Thank you for that.
absolutely.
I'm going to go ahead and cover one of the ones that I hear a lot of questions on, and that is other than honorable or OTH discharge from the military. Typically, those are seen as administrative separation process from the military for misconduct or disciplinary issues. It indicates that a service member's behavior or performance failed to meet their service branch standards. So there are a variety of reasons in why some of, this other than honorable characterization occurs. It can limit eligibility for VA benefits and create barriers to civilian employment opportunities. And there are two forms in typically how the other than honorable discharge is seen as. It's either seen as administrative or punitive, and that is, typically and sometimes a result of court martial trials.
Well said. Yeah, we'll probably get a bunch of questions when it comes to that. I know that can be out there for a lot of veterans, but we'll definitely cover a little bit more into that later on. But when it comes to the most desirable one, I guess you could say, is the honorable discharge. So that's when having a dishonorable discharge, it's more than just kind of having that badge of honor. It's a really good, valuable opportunity that's grants you invaluable benefits to both men and women who ultimately selflessly served our nation, right? And there are about five top benefits for veterans with an honorable discharge. Um, it's not a full inclusive list when it comes to this, but these are some of the top five. Definitely the VA disability compensation benefits. That's probably one of the key components of that. There's the healthcare benefits. There's education benefits when it comes to that. Home loans, and when it comes to employment, job training benefits can definitely be a real good value add when it comes to having that honorable discharge. So,
Well, on the topic of benefits under honorable discharge, there are some benefits that still under other than honorable discharge you are able to take advantage of. And so, treatment for conditions related to MST, and then mental health care for those who served at least 100 days and experienced combat, and as well as emergency mental health crisis services. And there is potential for determination to change that characterization of your discharge. It's definitely something that has happened before, and under certain circumstances, based off of your discharge, may be something to get more education on from our coaches.
mhm. I was trying to see. I was going to take a moment there to see if we were getting any um, 10% still stuck at the. Or Ashley was asking U.S. Air Force general discharge. Will I still get benefits? I believe you just talked on that one, didn't you, Coach Laura? Did you cover that one when it came to
I
the?
covered other than honorable.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So yeah, when it comes to the general, yes, you should be able to get benefits when it comes to that side. So, yeah, short answer on that one.
Excellent. All
So,
right.
and I think when when it comes to different situations, when it comes to um, the character of discharges and things like that, veterans that have an other than honorable discharge, as I was mentioning, you can still qualify. You still may be able to qualify for certain VA benefits, but the eligibility is determined through that character of discharge, which you can put in a request for that change of character of discharge. But as Coach Laura was mentioning, there's a lot of factors that get played into it. Those extenuating circumstances that really go in and detail and explain that other than honorable discharge, that character of military service before the negative incidents, right? And the length and overall performance of your military service. And you could definitely kind of help with that by possibly providing buddy letters, service records, any third party testimonies. They can provide some very valuable context when it comes to getting a character of discharge determination there. So,
Yeah, I actually was going to cover some of the reasons why you would consider changing that characterization of your discharge. So, for mental health conditions, including PTSD, so if you feel that that is applicable, then that is something that you would want to look into, as well as TBI and MST, military sexual trauma. And then I know previously some members received OTH based off of sexual orientation under the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy. So if any of those are applying to your situation, that's where you could consider maybe getting that characterization change and submitting for that. And like VA claims process, we encourage veterans to not quit if you get a no right away. No is not an end all be all in most occasions. So sometimes it's just a matter of that persistence and changing, maybe strategy or pathway to your approach. So keep moving forward, keep trying to make and plead your case.
absolutely. And a good way of doing that is if you're not already an elite member at VA Claims Insider, you can definitely reach out if you'd like to work with Coach Laura or myself. You can definitely do so. And this is where having that education and professionalism that we live up to when it comes to that elite standard here at VA Claims Insider. But I'm going to kind of transition right into maybe a little bit more on the positive side when it comes to the overall VA disability compensation. And when it comes to, having an honorable discharge, that's where, it can really get good. I'm 100% permanent total. Not trying to flex or anything like that, but it is an amazing thing. But it took a lot of effort and work on my part to get there, along with the education and resources. But when it comes to that VA disability compensation, you possibly get up to 100% as well. And really just kind of depends on the nature and severity of your symptoms, of your disabilities. And quite frankly, I mean, 100% pays just as a zero dependent rate, pays $3,800 and, well, 38, 31, and I think 30 cents per month. And there are options that you could possibly get: special monthly compensations, um, dependents, etc. And it's very much worth going after those benefits that you deserve. Um, and I think when it comes to, the amount of the increase for 2025 with zero dependents, uh, could really can really add up for sure. So, but in order to be eligible for that compensation, um, as one of your honorable discharge benefits, you've got to have a disability that meets the criteria of it being military service connected, so caused by your time in service. The condition is rated at least 10% disabling by the VA. As far as your own willful misconduct and didn't cause your condition, that's a key component there, as well as your condition, it's still active, you've got recurrent symptoms, or perhaps you're in a period of hospitalization or treatment. I always say, get your butt to the doctor. Continuity of care is something that I am a big fan of. And so if you haven't seen a doctor, and it's been quite a few, I hate to say years, but yeah, if it's been a while since you've talked to a doctor, I definitely would get in and get those disabilities and those conditions documented for sure. So that kind of leads right into the next part, right? So when you start getting those claims and those benefits, that VA healthcare, that is huge when it comes to, well, at least from my side, right? So, that honorable discharge includes that access to the VA healthcare. Depending on the percentage, your level of care gets moved up a little bit more, but that healthcare is still taken care of from that side. Um, those providers, they're going to have provide you with access to primary care, whether that's mental health, substance abuse, specialized care, especially when it comes to women veterans. There's geriatric and extended care, even rehabilitation, and a lot more when it comes to it. So, um, these services, they're available at medical centers all across the country. And while VA healthcare has become more affordable, you still might have to pay a copay to go along with those healthcare services. And the copays are waived if you have a service connected VA rating of 50% or higher. And if you're assigned to a priority group one or for veterans who can't afford to pay for VA healthcare, that's where those copays would be taken care of from that side. So I know there's a lot of information, but we have lots of great information. And if you haven't checked out Brian's new book, that's definitely something that I would recommend a good read for. And we might actually have a link for that. If not, I might make it magically appear on the screen.
There
Um,
you go. Oh,
oh, look
there
at
it
that.
is.
Woo! The magic of technology.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Yes. So Dave Vederick, he spoke to just that same situation that we were talking about earlier, the changing of characterization of discharge. He had an OTH 2 years ago, and it was changed to general under than honorable. So congrats. That's great news. I hope you're moving forward with your claims process now and able, if you're not, schedule a discovery call with us and get some education on the process.
See, maybe Vietnam. Okay. Well, Goddess Wisdoms was asking, I don't even know what that first part is. Mercury? I don't, is that, am I saying that right, Coach Laura?
I think so.
Okay, we're going to move on then. In Denver, Navy Vietnam era, honorable discharge, PTSD survivors. How to talk with you coaches, not good at chatting. Want to talk with you both. Yeah, if you want to pop up either one of our screens here as far as how you can communicate with us. But if that's something more specific to a claim, something along those natures, it might be best to go through a one of our veteran ambassadors for an introduction call kind of thing. So
Yeah. Oh,
we'll
here
try
we
to
have a,
take care of, guys.
there you go. We have a question, Todd McGrath, I believe. Are you eligible for any rating if you had a stroke while on National Guard drill weekend? So, Todd, that is falling in line to some of those specific nuances when it comes to the National Guard and the way that they acknowledge certain conditions based off of LOD and drill status and things like that. We have quite a few coaches that are well versed in those specific situations when it comes to the National Guard and reserves. So I would encourage you, get in touch with us and, request an educational call, a discovery call, so that way you can get some education on especially some of these more unique situations for covering that drill
Yeah,
claim.
that was a very good question, because it happens while on service, right? So when it comes to that service connection side, however, when it comes to reserve, National Guard for the weekends, what caused it, right? So there are a lot of moving parts when it comes to that side. So short answer is, like Coach Laura said, yes and no, possibly. But definitely keep getting documentation when it comes to that, possibly a LOD when it comes to it. Um, do your due diligence when it comes to that side of it for sure. So
Yeah, and I know Reserve and National Guard on some occasions get multiple DD 214s. So, because I also served in the National Guard, I made sure to keep every single one of them because, relying on electronics to hold your records may not be the best idea. Make sure to paper copy, electronic copy, whatever which way is possible to keep a hold of those DD 214s.
good point. Absolutely. Questions are rolling in. Um, I was. We'll get back to the questions in just a moment, but I'm definitely a big fan of the benefits when it comes to the honorable discharges. And I mentioned obviously the healthcare side of it, but one that is huge in my opinion is the education benefits. So they're only available to veterans with an honorable discharge, and this is probably one of the most valuable benefits available to veterans with an honorable discharge, kind of like what I was mentioning there. There are two different GI Bills that you may qualify for. There's the Montgomery GI Bill, and there's the post 9/11 GI Bill. When it comes to the post 9/11 GI Bill, that covers up to 100% of the tuition and fees for in-state public schools. There's a living stipend, there's book supply allowance. There is a one-time relocation payment that can be made. And with this benefit, you're also eligible for technical and vocational job or training, on the job training, as well as internships, and even flight training. I wish my eyes were better because I would have taken advantage of that. Uh, but yeah, when it comes to being eligible for those full benefits, you got to meet one of the following requirements. So you had to at least served at least 36 months of active duty after September 10th of 2001. Either received a Purple Heart with an honorable discharge or been discharged due to a service-connected disability. after serving 30 continuous days. So it definitely ties in as far as the claims and benefits that you legally, morally, and ethically deserve. Um, I think I got a couple minutes. I might touch on the Montgomery, the GI Bill for the Montgomery GI Bill, but I just repeated myself. A little bit different from that side, but it covers up to $2,438 per month for 2025 at least, when the veteran has attended school full time. The benefit will pay for up to 36 months, and in order to qualify for that, you had to have contributed at least $100 a month for the first 12 months of active service, or you're eligible under the VEAP conversion, and you completed high school or equivalency certification, and you served at least 2 years of active duty. So,
Well, while we're on the topic of some of those tremendous benefits, I wanted to get into the home loan benefit. And it is where you are qualified for a VA backed home loan with an honorable discharge. By using a private lender, the VA guarantees a portion of the loan, enabling benefits such as no down payment or lower mortgage insurance premiums. And to qualify for that one, you must have served at least 90 days of active duty during wartime or 24 months straight. And some veterans have shorter requirements, for example, those Vietnam veterans.
you hit it right on there. When you said home loans, my ears definitely perked up when it came to it. This isn't necessarily in regards to the home loan side, but depending on your percentages and which state you live in, different states have their own laws and rules when it comes to this. But the higher your percentage, and I will flex on Texas, that's where I am located, at 100% permanent and total, my property taxes are paid for, or rather, I don't have to pay them. And so there is a deduction when it comes to that. Each state has their own percentages, and depending on your level of disability rating, that can make a factor as well. So that's very nice to see a bill of what would be a bill, and I do not have to pay it. So.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's definitely a great benefit that a lot of veterans aren't aware of and definitely should take advantage if that is afforded to them.
Mm-hmm. Well, hey, Bronx Row was asking, says, I'm at 90%, have been hesitant to try to get to 100% due to fear that the VA will deny or deduct my current percentage. A few other veteran buddies that were in my line of work share the same fear. I mean, it's a common fear. Absolutely, right? You worked your way to get to that percentage. As far as the raw score, you might have seen someone earlier said that they were 93.28% or something like that. But VA math can be a little, say, cumbersome. I'll keep it nice and delicate on that side. You may be 10, 20% away. You might actually need another 60 or 70%. But when it comes to your overall question, as far as afraid that they'll take something away, there are some things to definitely consider when it comes to that side. And if you're working with myself or any other coach here, Coach Laura in particular, when it comes to strategy and game plan, if you're going for a condition that you're already rated for, you're going for an increase, there's always that possibility of being decreased as well. This is where education and all of our resources can really help when it comes to educating you on that process. And that's a key component of it. The education is huge. And, if you are still fearful, you can definitely set up a call with us, and, we'll see if it's a good fit, maybe answer some of your additional questions, but working with us would be a great start, and maybe take a little bit of that fear away. Did you have any fears like that when you were going for your claims, Coach Laura?
Oh, absolutely. And it definitely getting education has enlightened the whole process and really shed light on how to approach things, because there are ideas and rumor mill out there on certain things. And so sometimes it's a lot easier to equip yourself with the actual facts
Hmm.
and understanding the whole VA claims process, the direct service connection, the secondary claims, and all that those entail. I think that those are huge and beneficial pieces of information to really grasp and fully understand.
Hmm. Well said. Perfectly said. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's why I flipped to you.
Yes, excellent.
Let's see. James, it's kind of similar to one of the other questions, but James Clement said, while serving, if someone has 2 heart attacks and a stent, does the service member get VA benefits? Perhaps it kind of comes back to that. Are you on active duty? Now, there are some conditions, hypertension being one that is presumptive for the Gulf area, burn pits, etc. If that can be a causation for it, definitely, definitely look into it. But it could be kind of in a similar situation of the other gentleman or person that was asking, where was it active duty? Were you on orders? Um, Something along those natures. But yeah, reach out to us and see if that's if it'd be worth working with us and going after those potential claims.
Yeah, causation is a big key factor of things, and how you can relate it to your military service if it is related.
Hmm. I think it kind of came back to what we'd kind of mentioned earlier, whereas um, how did I phrase it? Where it's no fault of your own uh, type of thing. The Gulf area is notorious for the environment. So that's why the Presumptive Impact Act was implemented. I know Desert Storm guys and gals like myself, we had to suffer through quite a while. We didn't know what was going on. But now with the uh, work that the VA is doing when it comes to determining a lot of these conditions, they're really honing in on a lot of this stuff. So it's actually getting better and better and better.
Yeah, I can actually appreciate the evolving and growing information that is continuously updated when it comes to some of those presumptives and exposures and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, let's see. What other question? Oh, George Diaz. I served in Desert Shield, Desert Storm under Stormin Norman's command. Just had discharge upgraded after 30 years. Well, congratulations. That's a feat. And so definitely want to commend you for that.
Absolutely. And he said Storm and Norman. I hadn't heard that in a long time.
I know. I was like, whoa, that's a blast from the past.
After this one, I'll have to tell you a story about the Storm and Norman, Coach Laura, but not on today's class. It's not bad. It's just interesting to hear that. So, and John was saying, uh, I'm 60% have been denied new items applied 4 or 5 months ago. I'm on SSDI, cannot work. Should I apply for total? I'm assuming total TDIU, which is total disability individual unemployability. Believe I got that right, Coach Laura? Did I say it right?
Yes. Yes.
If I do, will it void my claim I have now? No, it should not. So TDIU is separate, and you can be on TDIU. And that's a temporary 100%. It's based on income, a few other factors when it comes to that side of it. But you can absolutely go for new or existing claims that you've been denied for while you're on TDIU. So absolutely. Uh, wish you best of luck on that one, on all your claims for sure. So, and as far as the 5 years, apply for total. Yeah, it's income based. I would definitely look it up to see if you would even qualify for it. There are some pretty tight regulations when it comes to it, but you can check out our site, and we do have a good blog when it comes to TDIU as well as everything else. So tons of info out there.
And let's see, Sil Lorenzo Barba. Yep, that's where I'm at. I'm 70% fearing to put in a claim to where I may get denied and reduced. Still, that is a common fear for a lot of veterans. I feel like there are probably quite a few people who would share the same sentiment. And so that's where, I encourage you to reach out to us, get some education, and talk to one of our coaches, myself, Coach Ash, or anyone else. And if that's not the situation, definitely look into things, really read into the actual regulations of things, so that way you can equip yourself with that knowledge and with that education. We also do have Brian's book that may shed some light and provide you a little bit of ease in your mind.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And perhaps since it's popped up twice, I know, the whole topic today was on discharges, but this is why I love coaching. So getting questions like this, when it comes to those fears and possibly being decreased, right? Just like Coach Laura was saying, if you're working with the coach here, we're going to do our best to educate you on strategy and a game plan. If you're going for an increase in, say, mental health, and you're currently rated at 70% for mental health, you've really got to educate yourself on what that difference between a 70 and a 100 means from mental health side of it. All right. And that's where it can be very valuable to work with us through this education process. And even if you go after it on your own, absolutely, you definitely need to know those things. But the possibility of being decreased if you're going in and your condition has gotten better, absolutely. Not only should you be decreased, but that's what you actually should be rated for. But getting back to it, where if you're filing a claim for a new condition that has nothing to do with what you're currently connected for, there are secondary conditions, similar to mental health has a lot of secondary conditions. A lot of those conditions can have secondary conditions. Hopefully not confusing anybody with this. A lot of moving parts when it comes to it, but as long as you're not really going after what you're already connected for, you're okay to some degree, right? Now, the VA can always reevaluate you, even if you don't put in a claim. And if you're not 100% permanent and total, they can always reevaluate you. Okay. So I should say always, they can reevaluate you. But again, this is where education on the whole system and the process can really come into play. There are some factors that, aside from 100% permanent total, but in short, if you want to work with a coach, that'd probably be a good way of getting that education and that knowledge and that power. So,
Yeah, don't let that fear keep you from getting the rating that you deserve ethically, legally, morally. Um, you know, Equip yourself with that toolbox of education, of understanding, and really, take a look at how you're service connected and really understand that 38 CFR.
for Mr. Harmon, look at that. Man,
Yes.
from Bronx Row was asking me if to clarify, I'm at 100% permanent total. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's the two differences between permanent and total and TDIU. We already went through some of that, and you know both are great benefits when you need them and deserve them.
And it is actually possible to get TDIU permanent and total as well. So TDIU is income based, kind of paraphrasing it for that side of it. But you can get permanent and total for TDIU. I've had several vets that had initially came to work with me, and they were TDIU, so it was TDIU permanent. It's the same as being 100% permanent total, same thing. So it is possible. It's not common, but it is possible. Ooh, Anna's asking what could be a tough question. You want to take a shot at it? I don't know.
Let's see. This might be a tough question to answer, but any idea of the timeline for the judge to get your case assigned to a judge after your BVA hearing is complete? My hearing was in January, and I am still waiting for a judge to be assigned to review the hearing notes and my additional evidence. It was a 4-year wait for the hearing. Thanks.
Actually, I should have kept reading on that one. I just had a Board of Veterans Appeals. It can take quite a while when it comes to it. So 4 years, oof, that is quite a while. There could be a lot of things that go once it actually gets to a judge. They may, well, there's a lot of things that they can do. They could send it back to the VA to do some more determinations, some discoveries, etc., possibly C&P exams, quite a few things. So, and they could be requesting a lot of extra information from the VA sending it back to the judge. A lot of moving parts. So that's why it can really take quite a while. So to answer your question, yeah, it can take a while. Mine was about 2.5 years. Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about a Board of Veterans Appeals.
Yeah, it definitely can ebb and flow and change throughout the timeline. But I did see another comment that is a really good one. Shirleva Booker. I'm active duty and I was told I could start the P3 status at any time because my disc herniation is so bad. I lost partial feeling, but I'm still functioning and still doing what I have to do. Is it too soon to talk to you guys just to get educated on my options? So, Shirleva, we actually are on the other end when it comes to the claims process. So, you will be going through your PEB, MEB board, whichever one is what you're going through, because potentially it sounds like, and I'm just making an assumption. There's potential for you to get either medically discharged or medically retired, which are two different outcomes potentially. So, long and short, to answer the question, seek us out once you get your rating and you want to continue to either appeal or move forward with a higher rating.
Hmm. Document, document, document.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And keep all of your paperwork, please.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Anna was asking me, Mr. Harmon, man, you guys are gonna not used to hearing that.
You're gonna have to grease your head to get through the door.
My green screen's gonna have to expand a little bit more on this
Yeah.
side. When I said mine was 2.5 years, did you mean after the hearing? No, the hearing actually was pretty quick in my case, and that's where mine was I guess you could say a little simpler, but depending on the complexity of your case, mine was an effective date. So it was kind of cut and dry. So, but yeah, just to get to the judge was about 2.5 years. And maybe a couple months for it to actually move into that level of being sent to the Board of Veterans Appeals. But once the judge made the decision on mine, it was pretty quick. That's kind of the problem, right? Bringing in my own story when it comes to it. There is no cookie cutter when it comes to the claims process. You and every other vet may go for a mental health claim. They're all separate and different when it comes to it. So the general idea is there, but there are a lot of different things a lot of factors that get played into it. So yeah, just depending on the complexity of it, and ultimately it comes back to the VA, what was their portion? What did they miss? Lots of things when it comes to it. So hopefully you don't have to wait too much longer. I mean, 4 years it's not uncommon and it's kind of average really. But hopefully it moves up pretty quick. So wish you the best in that, Anna, for sure. what was it? Bronx. I think you're just gonna have to sign up under me, right? We're bestest buddies now. As far as when it comes to permanent total PDIU, absolutely. Did I get back paid for those 5 years of appeals? I did. I did. And when it comes to back pay, things like that, we do like to move pretty quick when it comes to VA Claims Insider, how we work with coaches. If you like to work with us, absolutely. We go after it, right? Now, you can only control up to the point of, when it gets to the VA, it could take a while, but we do like to move pretty quick when it comes to this side. Yeah, as long as you're cool with that and you'd like to work with us, give us a shout. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. John Joe just joined us. I just got on here. My best friend has an other than honorable, and he has been out for over 20 years. What is he eligible for? Sorry if this was already asked. Not a problem. We can absolutely backtrack and go over some of those things. So there are extenuating circumstances when it comes to OTH or other than honorable. And there are some benefits that do get covered. And so let me go to that. There is a mental health aid for the benefits of, sorry, for some of the veterans, depending on the situation that they were discharged under. There may be also some support when it comes to 100 days. If you have, let me not misspeak and refer to the actual portion. Sorry about that. And John Joe, I did also want to backtrack and let you know that, there are some opportunity also for your friend to potentially get that characterization changed for depending on the circumstances in which they were discharged. Some of those circumstances may be, like we mentioned earlier, PTSD, TBI, military sexual trauma, don't ask, don't tell, those type of situations. And so if your friend is inclined to reach out to one of us for some education, feel free to provide them our information.
Absolutely.
And so let me also backtrack and go into emergency mental health services, mental health care for those who served at least 100 days and experienced combat, or treatment for conditions related to military sexual trauma. No problem, John Joe.
Yeah, as far as the request to have the um, do the discharge upgrade, that'd be my first approach from that side, assuming you qualify under the other things that Coach Laura was mentioning there. So let's see. Tammy is asking, is aid and attendance a benefit? I, as a wife of an 8-year Army veteran, plus a year or two National Guard, family has a history of dementia, and I fear if I need long-term care, it could be at a costly burden. Yeah, long-term care absolutely can be. You're the wife. It would be more for your spouse when it comes to aid and attendance. For that side. But yeah, he or she could get aid and attendance depending on the percentage that he's rated at. He or she is rated at, excuse me. But as far as like you in particular, there is CHAMP VA benefits when you get 100% permanent total. That's a whole other area there as far as what's covered under the CHAMP VA. But definitely look into that. And if you're not 100% or if he's not 100% permanent total, definitely it might be a good call to make to see if it might be worth us going through the education process and looking to see if that is a possibility. General under Joel Raymond was asking, can a general under honorable conditions be upgraded? I believe so, but I am going to double check. Or do you have an answer off the top of your head?
Let's look into that.
Absolutely. So,
All right. So eligibility individuals with less than fully honorable discharge can request an upgrade through the Discharge Review Board or Board of Military Corrections. So it is possible.
I knew it was possible. I just wanted to see you struggle with it. No, I'm just kidding. You're right there on the money. That's
Yeah.
what's great about working with our coaches, man. And just working with us in general is resources that we have available in our knowledge and experience. Don't see everything every day, but we see a lot of new things every day for sure. So
Yeah, that was definitely one of the newer questions, but a good one.
well, I'm gonna go back to Bronx Road just because he called me Mr. Harmon again. So I'm gonna hit that one up. Sounds like a plan. I do appreciate the transparency and the mission this channel brings. My experience when out processing and attending TAPS was terrible to say the least. Right. Quite honestly, going through the claims process here at VA Claims Insider, when I was a client and going through my coach, I would never talk about this stuff before. So it is something that I'm able to do now. So I'll leave it at that. But Mr. Bronx, if you want to work with me, I think, like I said, man, we're gonna be besties when it comes to this side. That's the only time I'm gonna use that phrase, by the way. So
I think you called me bestie before, so I'm
well,
gonna call you out on that.
fair enough. So noted.
Yes.
Let's see. I know we're probably missing a few on here. Let's see. George Diaz. It's the first time I attend one of these types of meetings. Just received my upgrade letter yesterday, so it was a pretty honorable experience. Pun intended. Look at you. Dad jokes. I already threw one out there earlier. I might do it before we leave. Since you were in the Gulf War, what symptoms, if any, have you experienced since I lived with my head down for so many years? Today is a good day. Well, awesome, George. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to be here. Appreciate your service. If we have a lot of resources on our website when it comes to me in particular, there's not enough time in the day to go over everything. But a lot of more common things, mental health is something I was not looking at going after. But once I dove into it, I realized there was quite a lot there. And again, not trying to flex, but my 100% permanent total, along with my other physical conditions, respiratory, digestive, I'm at 100% just for my mental health alone, which Mr. Bronx might make a comment in there as far as trying to go, oh, that's why. But there are quite a few things, and there are quite a lot of different possibilities for claims out there as well. Not quite 900, but pretty daggone close. So definitely look into it. And if your discharge gives you that opportunity to go after the benefits that you legally, morally, and ethically deserve, go after them. If you'd like to, see how we might be able to be a part of that when it comes to the education portion of it, absolutely give Coach Laura a shout out. And I'm going to magically make her link show up on the page. Watch this. Woo, 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 woo. Look at that.
You are a magician these days.
Magician. Rolando was asking, Rolando Mariachi, do you guys assist with discharge upgrades? No, we do not. No.
And then we have Anthony Kegler. Just joining in. I have an honorable discharge. I'm not service connected. How do I get service connected? And will Nexus letter help me more when filing a claim? So, Anthony, it sounds like you're in the right place, and all you have to do is engage with one of our amazing and wonderful coaches, to include myself or Coach Ash. And this is one of those situations where you could likely benefit from some good education and coaching on making that service connection and moving forward with the claims process.
Perfect. Well, I don't know if it was me or you that hit on the VA loans. I think it was you, yeah.
Yeah.
That were mentioning the VA loans, and Brandon Owens. Um, I love this one. If I'm at 100%, how do I start to access the many benefits that I hear so much about, but can't seem to get it started? For example, caught word of a $800,000 loan for a home. Is it real or is it nonsense? If it's legit, how do I tap into that so I could move my wife, four little girls, out of her parents' home and into our own? Uh, Thanks for sharing on that. And absolutely, it is real. The 800,000. I'm not sure if that's the cap when it comes to it. Probably pretty close. Some reason I think 600,000 is in my head. Could be higher, but absolutely. Really, the way it works is if you're 100%, and if you're 100% permanent total, again, you have the property tax potential depending on your state. Check into that. But you have access to it now when it comes to it. Most lenders out there, and I'm not going to get into this too deep, that's how you would approach it. And it is amazing. What I would suggest is taking a look at our website. We have tons of information out there. And especially when it comes to 100%, you can type that in the search and you will get a lot of extra things in there as far as some resources when it comes to that side of it. So that's a good way. Check out our website and do a search for anything and everything, and you'll probably have it when it comes to VA claims, VA benefits, and quite a few things when it comes to it. But it is legit, and yeah, wish you the best. Yeah, the lenders will be able to handle that when it comes to the VA loan side. So,
Well, while we're on the topic and we're closing out the hour, I want to make sure that we put out that we provide a variety of method when it comes to education. So, we do have our live classes. We also have some Zoom classes that you can sign up for once you're a client. Coffee with the coaches. We also provide mental health exam education and medical exam education. So, sign up, get your education, get your knowledge expanded on this very unique topic of the VA claims process and all of the infinite information that is at your exposure.
mhm. I think a couple of these might be able to bust through real quick. But if you don't get your answer to your question, we will have someone after the Facebook Live that'll answer those for you there. Let's see. Man, there's a bunch of them just started popping in there. I have a friend that was in the Army, National Guard during Vietnam. Was deployed. This is from Ernest Walker. He's wondering if he's qualified for VA benefits. He has an honorable discharge. Absolutely. And what is going on with the VA? This is Scotty Hurt. Told you I was gonna try to get as many as possible.
Yeah,
Scotty Hurt.
on fire.
What's going on with the VA not looking at evidence or ignoring C&P exams, nexus letters when it's favoring vets and their claims? They're humans. Humans sometimes make mistakes. That is where the education and coaching can really come into play. We like to look at those decision letters and kind of educate you on next steps when it comes to that side. But just remember, they are humans. They don't always get it right. But definitely keep pushing and working for the claim that you deserve.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think I touched on it earlier. The Just because you hear a no, it's not always a definite no. So, sometimes it's just a matter of changing pathways or approach or providing new and relevant information. So, multiple ways to go about that new and potential approach.
mhm. And Terry McCaffrey was asking, and there were a few questions kind of in regards to this as far as timelines, things like that. That is one of those that I definitely would not be able to answer accurately. Once it gets to the VA, they move at their own pace, their own speed. It could vary. But if it starts to get too carried away, there are things that you can do to kind of check in on it, see if you can get some movement when it comes to it. But definitely 120 days, I believe, is what they're roughly saying. Man, I was running out of time. So, but yeah, I want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you for doing this with me, Coach Laura. If you'd like to
Thank
work with either
you.
one of us, we'll pop them up one more time magically across the screen. And if you'd like to just find out if it might be worth working with us, you can definitely have a free call and talk to someone to see if it might be a good fit for you. Other than that, wish you the best in your claims journey, and make it a great day.
We appreciate you all. Thank you.